fifth grade. We're on our second lesson for this week, week number 30. We are going to be doing lesson 7, module 8, lesson 7, the last lesson in this module. And you are going to be multiplying fractions. So you'll be able to solve problems involving the multiplication of a whole number or a fraction by a fraction. And remember, we're going to still kind of use the idea what we used on the last video, where if your fraction is less than 1 whole, then that number is going to be smaller than, right? If the fraction is equal to, the number will be the same. And if the fraction is greater than 1 whole, then your number is going to be bigger than. So just keep that in mind as we're doing these problems, okay? So an annual fundraiser raised 4/5 of the amount of money in 2017 as it did in 2018. $5,000 was raised in 2018. How much money was raised in 2017? So which one probably raised more which one was more money raised? So we can see that the fundraiser raised 4/5 of the amount of money in 2017 as it did in 2018. So 4/5 of the money in 2017 was raised as it did in 2018. So we can figure out that more money was raised in 2018 than in 2017 because 4/5 of the money was raised. Okay? So more money was raised in 2018. In reverse of that, we could say that less money was raised in 2017, but the question was, which year do you think more money was raised? So the 4/5 was of the amount of money in 2017, so we know that more money was raised in 2018. So what would be our equation to model this problem? Well, we know that $5,000 was raised in 2018. And we know that 4/5 was raised in 2017. So we would be multiplying 4/5 times 5,000. Right? That would be our equation. Now, how we would write this, so that way, because we need to be able to multiply fractions with fractions, we know that a whole number, any whole number, to make it into a fraction, you just have to put over 1. So this would be the same as saying 4/5 times 5,000 over 1. So anytime there's a whole number, you want to make sure that you put it over 1, because when we multiply, remember we multiply our numerators together, and then we multiply our denominators together. This is only in multiplication. Remember, in addition, we don't do that. With our denominators have to be the same. But in multiplication, our denominators do not have to be the same. So when we multiply 4 times 5,000, we get 20,000. And 5 times 1 is 5. So 20,000 fifths. Now, how do we solve this equation? How do we solve it? Well, we need to remember that fractions, this symbol is really a division symbol. This means to divide. So this is telling me that we need to divide 20,000. Our numerator always goes inside, and our denominator goes outside. Okay? That's always the way it's going to be. Our numerator goes on the inside, our denominator goes on the outside. Okay? So now we are going to divide. That's exactly what this symbol means, to divide. 20,000 divided by 5. And if I just look at this number, all I need to do is think about, because there's all these zeros, so I'm going to take some of these zeros off. What is 20 divided by 5? Well, 20 divided by 5 is 4, and then all these zeros divided by 5 are 0. So 4,000 is our answer. So 4 times 5,000 divided by 5 is the same as this, because we're going to say 4 times 5,000 divided by 5. Or if I look here, 4 times 5,000, then divided by 5, because 5 is going to be multiplied by 1. So how much money was raised in 2017? That would be $4,000. And then how does this answer compare to our answer from part A? It shows us that there was more money raised in 2018. So less money was raised in 2017, right? Because we know that in 2018 they raised $5,000. In 2017 they raised $4,000. So 4/5 times 5,000 equals 4,000. So they raised $1,000 more in 2018. So let's move on to number 2. A soccer team is having a fundraiser. Of the items they are selling, 3/4 are gift cards. 2/3 of the gift cards are restaurant gift cards. What fraction of the items they are selling are restaurant gift cards? Write an equation to model the problem. Well, we know that 3/4 of the items are gift cards, and 2/3 of those gift cards are restaurant gift cards. So we're going to need to multiply 2/3, because it's 2/3 of 3/4. So this is telling me that there are 2/3 of all of the gift cards are restaurant gift cards. So what would our fraction be? Remember, we multiply the numerators and then we multiply the denominators. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 4 is 12. So 6/12 of the gift cards are restaurant gift cards. So using a picture, we could have our rectangle, right, divided into thirds. And then we have our, oh, sorry, just kidding. We're not comparing, we're multiplying. So you could have a square divided into 4 columns and just shade 3 columns to show 3/4. And then you would need to divide that square into 3 rows. But we're not going to worry about using a visual model. Let's just do our multiplication. We know that 2/3 times 3/4 is 6/12. Okay. How could I simplify 6/12? 6 is half of 12, right? So it would be half. Half of the gift cards are restaurant gift cards, right? 6/12. Okay. Of the movies in Mr. Jackson's collection, 7/10 are on DVD. Of those, half are science fiction. What fraction of Mr. Jackson's movies are science fiction DVDs? Well, we know that he has 7/10 of his movies on DVD, and half of those are science fiction. So half of, remember, of is multiply, 7/10 is going to tell us the science fiction. So 1 times 7 is 7, 2 times 10 is 20, so 7/20 of the movies are science fiction. Science fiction DVDs. I wonder if this question will be obsolete someday because everybody does streaming. It would be interesting to find that, you know, in the future if they will change this kind of a problem, because DVDs are going away just like VHS tapes did. Of course, you may not know what a VHS tape is, but I'm showing my age, right? Okay, find the product. 3/8 times 16. So 3/8 times, remember we do 16 over 1 because it's a whole number. So 3 times 16 is 48 over 8. Now, if I look at this number, remember this line means divide. What is 48 divided by 8? You could say this is also equal to 6, right? 48 divided by 8 equals 6. So either answer is correct, 48 over 8 or 6 whole. Okay. Remember, if you're multiplying by a whole number, your answer is going to be a whole number, right? Or it could be. It could be. All right, 1/2 times 3/5. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 5 is 10. So we have 3/10. And then 1/3 times 4. So remember 1/3 times 4 over 1. So 1/3 times 1 times 4 is 4. 3 times 1 is 3. So we have 4/3. Another way we could write this is 1 and 1/3 because we could take out 1 whole, 1 3/3, and then what we would have left is 1/3. But either answer is correct. I will take either answer, whichever one you come up. You know, if you want to take your improper fraction and make it a proper fraction, a mixed number, then you can. Okay. On your own, if you want to do this independently and come back and check your answers, you can, or just stay right with me. All right, does the order of the factors change the product? So when you're multiplying, does it matter what order you put your numbers in? No, it never does. It never matters when you multiply. So no, because when we multiply, it doesn't matter, right? What's the word when it doesn't matter the order of your numbers? Do you remember what that word is? That word is commutative. So multiplication is commutative, which just means that changing the order will not change your answer. Changing the order of the factors or numbers will not change your answer or product. Answer, product would be the same, right? So it doesn't matter either way. All right, we're going to find the product of 5/9 times 18. This would be 18 over 1, right? So we're going to first multiply 5 times 18. And if you need to do that out, you can off to the side, or if you know it in your head. But 8 times 5 would be 40. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9. So we have 90 over 9. If I were to divide 90 by 9, I would get 10, right? So you could either have 90 over 9, 99ths, or you could have 10. Our next answer. 32 times 2/3. So 32 times 2, so we're just basically doubling 32, right? So we get 64 thirds. Can this one be made into a mixed number? Let's see. 64 divided by 3. 3 into 6 goes 2. 1. So this would be 21 is your whole number, and then you take your 1 and it goes over your 3. You don't do a remainder. It's not remainder 1. It would be 1/3. So 21 and 1/3. But you could just keep it 64 thirds. That is fine. I'm just showing you what you could do if you wanted to find the mixed number. And then 7/8 times 9/10. 7 times 9 is 63. 8 times 10 is 80. So 63/80ths. All right, so we are going to evaluate this expression. So when we have something written like this, order of operations, what comes first? What would you always do in this situation? you're always going to do what's in the parentheses. The parentheses will always come first. So the first operation you're going to perform is 16 minus 4. And 16 minus 4 equals 12. So then we want to write this answer as a fraction, which would be 12 over 1 because it's a whole number. What is the product of the numerators? So that just means we're going to multiply our numerators. So 5 times 12 equals 60. Then we're going to do what is the product of the denominators. So that would be 6 times 1, which equals 6. So the value of this would be 60 sixths. 60 divided by 6 is the same as 10. So remember, we always do what's in the parentheses first, right? Order of operations. All right, explain how to find 11/12 of 4 by evaluating the numerical expression 11 times 4 divided by 12. So in this case, we need to do our multiplication before we do our division. We need to pretend there are parentheses here. You need to multiply first and then divide. Okay? You cannot do this division before this multiplication. So, right, because this is 11/12 times 4. It's basically the same thing. So 11 times 4 is 44. And then we're going to divide it by 12. Or we could say it's 44 over 12. Okay? And then you could divide that out if you wanted to. 12, that would be 3. 36. Got to regroup. 8. So that's also the same as 3 and 8/12. Okay? Number 11. Sam is using craft felt to carpet 2 rooms in a dollhouse. Both rooms are 5/6 feet by 7/8 feet. How many square feet of craft felt does Sam need to carpet both rooms? Well, this is an area problem, right? Because we're having both rooms are 5/6 feet by 7/8 feet, right? And this would just be one of his rooms. And he needs to do this by 2. So the first step you're going to do is multiply 5/6 times 7/8. And that's going to give you the area of just one room. So 3 times 7 is 35. 6 times 8 is 48. Then you need to take this and multiply it by 2 because there are 2 rooms, right? We said there are 2 rooms. So you need the area of both because he's doing carpet in 2 of his rooms. So 35 times 2 is 70 over 48. And that's going to give you the area. That's the area of carpet he needs. And if you wanted to divide this out, 70 divided by 48, that would be 1, 6, 10, 2, 2. So that would be the same as 1 and 22/48 feet of carpet. Square feet. Sorry. Square feet. Remember, because it's area. So square feet. All right. And our last page. The British Telecom Tower is about 3/7 the height of the Empire State Building. Write 2 different numerical expressions to model the height of the British Telecom Tower. Well, we know that the Empire State Building is 443 meters. Now, is the British Telecom Tower taller or shorter than the Empire State Building? It would be, I hope you said shorter, because 3/7, right, is less than 1. So it has to be shorter. So one way we could write the equation would be 3/7 times 443, right? And then we would do that over 1. Or we could do 3 times 443 divided by 7, right? 3 times 443 divided by 7 would also give us our answer for how tall the British Telecom Tower is. And we don't have to solve it. It didn't say to solve it, just wanted to give the expressions. Kasim picks 8 pounds of strawberries. He uses 5/8 of the strawberries to make a fruit salad. Then he uses 2/3 of the remaining strawberries to make fruit smoothies. How many pounds of strawberries does Kasim have left after making fruit salad and smoothies? Okay, so this is a 2-step problem. First, we know that he picks 8 pounds of strawberries. He uses 5/8 of them for the fruit salad. So let's first figure out how much was used for the fruit salad. So we're going to multiply 5/8 times 8. And that's going to give us 40 over 8. Okay? If I were to change this to a whole number, 40 over 8 is the same as 5, right? 40 divided by 8 is 5. So that's how much he used to make the fruit salad. So now we need to figure out the remaining strawberries. So this is what was used for the fruit salad. So I need to subtract 8 minus 5. So that tells me there are 3 pounds of strawberries left, right? Then he uses 2/3 of the remaining strawberries to make a fruit smoothie. So now I need to multiply 2/3 times 3 because there are 3 left. I'm not going to multiply by 5. 5 was what was used for the fruit salad, 5 pounds. So 2/3 times 3, we've got 6 over 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. That's what was used for the smoothies. This is the fruit salad. This is the smoothies. So if 2 was used for the smoothies, how much remains? 3 minus 2 is 1 pound. So this, you needed to do a couple of steps to find the answer. First, you needed to find out, well, how much did he use for fruit salad? This is how much was used, 5 pounds. So that had to be subtracted by the whole. Then that left you with 3 pounds. Then you had to multiply that by 2/3. That gave you 6 over 3, which is 2 pounds. That's how much was used of the 3. And then 3 minus 2 is 1, just to reiterate the answer. Okay, find the product. 3/5 times 7. 3 times 7 is 21/5. If you want to divide that out, that also is the same as 4 and 1/5. 1/8 times 2/3. 1 times 2 is 2. 8 times 3 is 24. So 2/24. That's also equivalent to 1/12. So if you had either of those answers, I would accept it. 9/11 times 5 times 3. Well, remember, we do the parentheses first. So 5 times 3 is 15. So then we need to do 15 times 9/11. So what's 9 times 15? 125. No. 35. Sorry, 135. 135 11ths. And if you want to divide that out, 125, 2, 22, 3. So that would be the same as 12 and 3/11. So either of those answers I would give you credit for. And you need to parentheses first. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 17/20 times 6. So 17 times 6 7 times 6 is 42. 6 plus 4 is 10. So we would have 102 20ths. Or, I'm going to divide this out if you want. We could do 5, which is 100. 2, so 5 and 2 20ths. Either answer I will give to you. I'll give you credit for. You could even go a step further, or 5 and 1/10. I don't know if you'll go that far. All right, will the product be greater than, less than, or equal to 34? Explain your reasoning. Well, if we multiply 1/3 times 1/3, I would get 1/9. 1/9 times 1/3 is, so 1/3 times 1/3. We're not adding these, right? We're multiplying. So 1/3 times 1/3 equals 1/9. And then you have to do 1/9 times 1/3, which is 1/27. And then you're doing 1/27 times 34, which is the same as 34 27ths. And 34 27ths, so since I'm finding a fraction or part of the 24, then it's going to be, right, this is less than, right, we're finding a fractional part of it, so less than 34 will be my answer, right? Isn't 34 27ths less than 34? Especially you divide that out, right? You're going to get one whole and a fraction. So it's less than 34. All right, and finally, George models the area of the rectangle with the equation 2/3 times 3. Caleb models the area of the rectangle with the equation 2 times 3 divided by 3. Which equation is correct? Well, let's see. We're going to solve, if we find the area, right, it's 2/3 times 3. That's what they're modeling is the area. So let's look at George. He says 2/3 times 3 is the answer. So 2 times 3 is 6/3, so that would be 2 square feet. Caleb, he's doing 2 times 3 divided by 3. Remember, we have to do this multiplication first. 2 times 3 equals 6 divided by 3, which equals 2. So he also gets 2 square feet. So who's correct? They both are. So they both are correct. Either equation will solve that problem. So I would like you to do your work for forget which one we're on, 8.7. And then you're going to do the front and the back of the black and white sheet and return it to me at school. I also would like you to do the review, Module 8 review sheet that was sent home as well. Please do this sheet as well, the front and the back. And I'm going to take that as a quiz grade because I want to see how you did with all the work from this module. All right, so you're going to do both of those assignments and plus 8.6. And that all will be handed in, and then next week we'll start with the next module. All right, have a great rest of your day and the rest of your week, and I will see you soon. Bye.